Feel more you, wardrobe and body acceptance. When it comes to shopping for clothes and managing your wardrobe, there's often a lot of emotion tied to it, especially for those working on healing their relationship with food and their bodies. Hi, I'm Eve here from Vitamin Eve Nutrition Counseling, and today we're going to talk about how to update or rather authenticate your wardrobe. And by authenticate, I mean making your wardrobe feel more authentic to who you are right now. You see, having ill-fitting clothing, an outdated closet, or uninspiring wardrobe can make us feel, well, not good about ourselves. In other words, when we enrobe ourselves in clothes that don't feel good, we don't feel good. After all, dressing in clothes that don't suit us can further instill the idea that something is wrong with now. We have to wait to live, or that we're not good enough and that we don't belong. Some of you hearing this might be thinking, well, Eve, oh my goodness, clothing is so shallow. And I know, I understand, I used to think that too. But you see, wanting your outsides to reflect the person you are on the inside is actually more of a matter of an integrity and alignment. When your insides match your outsides, it could help with a feeling of harmony with your infinite soul, your sparkly self, or your divine nature, or however you feel you are on the inside. And all of this is definitely not shallow. In fact, you could actually consider self-grooming and how you dress yourself as a daily sacrament, a daily devotional practice to your inner self or your soul. And finally, when we don't feel good about ourselves, this could really impact our self-esteem. Just think about it. When you're not feeling aligned with your soul, you're probably less likely to participate fully in your relationships and life itself. And in fact, when this happens, you're more likely to use food or disordered eating behavior to feel better, and thus you're more likely to feel unfulfilled. And here's a recent story that illustrates some of what I mean here. A few months ago, I went to a networking gathering, and people in the networking gathering were dressed in formal attire. They were wearing dresses and suits and heels, and there I was in jeans and a hoodie. Clearly, I misunderstood the dress code. And though I tried to be as confident as possible, and I made the best of it while I was there, I have to admit that I was relieved when the gathering was finally over. And look, I consider myself a confident person, but I gotta share and be honest with you, I felt totally out of sync. After all, I'm only human. So now what I wanna do is to share 4 practical ways to help you make some shifts here. How you could lovingly update your closet to feel more you right now. Tip number 1 is wear clothing that fits you right now. When your clothing is too tight or whenever you feel that pinch, it could actually serve as a trigger, making you feel that something is wrong, that you're bad, or that you're messing up. It could be a subtle form of self-punishment. And the same is true when clothing is too baggy, as this could be a way of literally hiding. And guess what? Your soul is not meant to hide. And this could be ultimately unaligned with yourself. And I'm not saying that everyone has to be an extrovert or that you need to wear a ball gown or a tuxedo wherever you go. But I am saying that if the outside feels disrespectful of who you are on the inside, your soul or your unconscious self does not thrive like that. And it could actually put you in a bad mood. It can make you feel uneasy and drain your precious energy. And you have probably experienced this before. You probably experienced this in a different way. Just think how you feel when your space is too messy or cluttery, or when your car is dirty. It could kind of mess with your vibes. And the same is true with clothes that don't work for you anymore. And by the way, I totally get that tight clothes could feel sexy and baggy clothes could feel relevant. And that's not the tight and baggy I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the tight clothes that make you feel uncomfortable, or the baggy or improper fit that communicates that something's not right or that you need to hide. So I hope I'm making that clear. Tip number 2 is that you could get rid of the clothes that don't fit you. Not only not fit you in size, but also that no longer fit you in the style or the energy that it conveys. And I want to be the first to acknowledge that this could be emotionally difficult to do. So when I wanted to do this, it really helped to have a friend, partner, or family member literally by my side supporting me. So when doing this, a friend and I did something really fun. It really helped to create my style intention. So I actually created a style intention. The one I used was chic and comfortable. So anything that I felt wasn't chic and comfortable, I got rid of. So you could actually make a style intention intention. Maybe yours is trendy and conservative, youthful and sexy, mature and professional. Maybe you have multiple style intentions. And if you want, you could share them to the community in the comments below. And though it could be hard to get rid of clothes that no longer serve the current you could remind yourself that giving it away to people you know or people you don't know could be a great way to feel like you're part of something bigger, and that you're not throwing these items away in the garbage. You're not throwing them away. You're actually giving them to someone who could actually use them and enjoy them right now. And some people go as far to sell their clothes, good for you, or have clothing swaps, or there are clothing co-ops nowadays. So there are so many options here. But I also understand if you just don't feel ready to part with your threads. And I totally get that. So if that's you, you could actually put your clothing in a bag, and you could put that bag in an attic or in the back of your closet, so you don't have that constant reminder or that visual clutter anymore. Tip number 3 is to shop for yourself in a way that works for you. And here are some ways that you could do that. You could shop online, or you could shop with a friend. I actually take my fur baby, my dog Jax, and that makes it more fun for me. Or if you have the option, maybe you could ask a loved one to do the shopping for you. I'm really blessed because my mom is an excellent shopper, and sometimes she does the shopping for me. In fact, she got me these leggings. I don't know if you could see them right here. So if you have someone in your life who loves to shop and you hate it, maybe you could ask them to pick up a few pieces for you. But if you don't have friends or family like this, there are several online services that shop and curate closets for you in a variety of budgets. Another fun way to update your look is to consider accessories. In fact, I had a client that I was working with, and she didn't have the budget or the energy to buy new clothes, so she added accessories to make her wardrobe feel more relevant. Also, it could be super helpful to have a list, just like grocery shopping. So when I do my clothes shopping, I actually have a plan of exactly what I'm looking for. So I might tell myself, okay, I'm looking for a new dress for spring, or an outfit for work, or a new coat for winter. So I also make sure to take breaks when I'm shopping. I give myself a chance to look at non-clothing items like makeup and jewelry. Maybe I'll get a cup of tea. I make sure that I'm well fed, and sometimes I listen to calm music, and that also helps. And also I make a promise to myself that I get to leave the mall as soon as I start feeling too tired or if I get overwhelmed. And the fourth tip is to get your clothes tailored if you need to. I mean, sometimes there are pieces of clothing that you may just love so much, or they're just so expensive that you can't bring yourself to get rid of them. So tailoring the clothing could be such a great solution for this. In fact, I started doing this, and it felt so good to have my clothes that were too tight. It felt good to have them back. This was such a good hack for me that I would go so often that the tailor and I became friends. And an interesting thing happened one time I requested that she take my jeans out to make them bigger to accommodate for my waist. And she told me that she wasn't going to do it all the way. She was going to keep them a little bit tight to help me stay thin. And though I understand that she had good intentions in her own mind, it felt good to kindly tell her that my clothes were meant to fit my body and not the other way around. It felt good because I said this on behalf of not only myself, but on behalf of anyone else who may encounter this if they have the same request. After I told her this, to make it the size I needed it, we looked into each other's eyes and we had a connection there, and she never brought it up again. So I hope these tips were helpful. I'm so curious to know, was there anything I left out? So please drop a comment below. You could share what resonated with you. What you could do to make your wardrobe feel more delicious. Maybe it's something I suggested, or maybe it's something else, or maybe you want to share your wardrobe intention. I'd love to hear. So be sure to like this video if you liked it, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. Happy eating, everybody. Bye.